The eclipses this month both fell on Sundays, and these forecasts cover Sunday to Saturday and come out on Sundays, which means that you're hearing about the eclipse on the day it's happening, and that's only if you're listening in real time. If you'd like eclipse coverage or any lunar event coverage for that matter before it actually happens, then consider signing up for patron content. My patrons received their eclipse horoscopes last week. It has the rundown of all the details of the eclipse as well as personalized horoscopes for each and every rising sign. And it's not just a blurb. My horoscopes aren't one-liners. They're dedicated, they're from the heart, and they come out to be about a page for each sign. My Libra rising likes to keep things fair, and my detrimental Mercury can ramble for days, so every zodiac sign gets the same length of horoscope. But there I go rambling again. As I mentioned, we're starting this week with another eclipse. These things, they come in pairs. And this is the second one, and also the last eclipse of 2025. If you're excited about this being the last eclipse of 2025, why not celebrate by giving this podcast a rating or a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you tune in to my disembodied voice? I also want you to know that you can sign up for my patron content, which includes those eclipse horoscopes as well as weekly horoscopes and all the other cool issues of Moon Matters magazine. Right now, I'm busy trying to compile my article on the decans, which my patrons will, of course, receive once it's completed. It's slow going, but I am making progress. So thank you to everyone for your support while I churn out content and meet with clients. Speaking of clients, I'll be opening my books for another round of bookings soon. So if you want to know exactly when my books are open for readings, sign up for my mailing list on my website. I've done enough self-promotion. I'm annoyed for you. Let's get into this week's astro weather. Eclipse, eclipse, eclipse. The best thing about an eclipse is that it kind of reminds me of the word eclair, and I just really like donuts, so that's probably why it does that. The eclipse is once again within the Pisces-Virgo axis, only this time it's focusing more on the realm of Virgo. It's focusing on the Virgo portion of the axis. This new moon eclipse is going to have all the trappings of a typical eclipse, revealing information, upheavals, feeling drained. How intense it is for you is going to be highly dependent on your natal chart and where the event is taking place, but overall, you can expect the typical things that you would from an eclipse. The most interesting thing about this lunar event is that we already had a Virgo new moon last month. I go into detail about this and the significance of it in my eclipse horoscopes, but basically, we're having another Virgo new moon, only this one happens to be an eclipse. The ruler is different, and there's different aspects being made. So while yes, the new moon is in the same zodiac sign as it was last month, this is not a copy-paste type event. This is not a copy-paste thing. They're very different, and this new moon eclipse is going to heavily expand upon whatever it is last month's new moon brought up for you, as well as what has been brought up within the Virgo-Pisces axis for this eclipse cycle. If you're not into monthly subscriptions, I did make my eclipse horoscopes available for one-time purchase on my website and on Patreon. I tend to do this for bigger astrological events like eclipses and retrogrades, just so that the content is more accessible to people who don't like or can't do the monthly thing. So check that out if you're wanting to get the details on the eclipse and how it's impacting the realm of Virgo this go around. The new moon cycle has been extended within the realm of Virgo, which means we really need to pay attention to this area, clean it up, and start as fresh as possible. We'll be riding the eclipse energy for a good portion of the week, so you can expect this to kind of set the tone right at the start of the week. After the eclipse, there are some important planetary ingressions. Mars ingresses into its domiciled place of Scorpio, and the Sun ingresses into its place of fallen dignity, which is Libra. This means it's Libra season. Even with the fallen dignity, I am excited about it because it means the Sun is finally out of my 12th house. 12th house solar seasons are annoying at best, so I'm welcoming Libra season with open arms. You might be wondering what's up with Libra and the Sun being in fallen dignity when it's there. What does that mean? Why does it happen? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it scary? It's not scary. It's totally fine. The Sun has trouble in Libra because Libra is the sign of the other, of partnership. The Sun is the planet of self, ego, identity, me, mine. So when the planet of self is under the sign of the other, it has to move in a way that it normally wouldn't in order to get things done. So what does this mean for us astro weather-wise? It means we can expect to see more passive energy, which, with Mars also ingressing into Scorpio, that means passive-aggressive energy. People will be aggressively polite. They might not actually tell you how they feel. Consciousness in general is moving into the realm of Libra, which means we care about Libran ideals, love, harmony, beauty, peace, but also people-pleasing, maybe a little cattiness, getting our way. The cattiness level is going to go up exponentially due to this combination of Mars in Scorpio and the Sun in Libra. And remember last week when I talked about not being super decisive, not being able to make a decision? Well, the Sun is adding to that a little bit as well. We might all fall into people-pleasing and find that we're a little more hesitant in some ways. But remember, Libra is a cardinal sign. So we're still going to be pushing our personal agenda at all costs. We're just going to do it in a way that's maybe more subtle. I don't like the word backhanded, but backhanded, subtle's a little better. Subtle, or ensures that we come off in a certain way, that people view us a certain way. And this is why, in particular, the Sun is in full in Libra. Libra cares about social graces and curating an image for others, whereas the Sun itself would rather just be itself. Libra can morph into what it needs to be in order to suit the narrative, so don't be surprised if you see some Transformers robots in disguise over the next few weeks. And I'm not talking shit on Libra. I'm a Libra rising. I get it. I understand the kill 'em with kindness, social politeness hustle, but it's that Mars and Scorpio that's freaking me out a little bit, because there's definitely ulterior motives afoot as well. And when I say freaking me out, I'm not actually freaked out. That's just me living in hyperbole. It's just I see that combination. I'm like, oh, okay. We have the Sun in Libra. We have Mars in Scorpio. There's going to be a subtle passive aggressiveness, a subtle thread of passive aggressive just sewn through everything we feel right now. My patrons know all about this because I blabbed about it in their weekly horoscopes, but Libra is an area where you might be prone to people-pleasing or sucking up as a means to wield your power this week. And Scorpio is a place where you have to be careful about not becoming obsessed or filled with the desire to have it all. The aspects that are hitting both the Sun and Mars after their ingressions are with those generational planets. Remember the ones that Saturn was hanging out with for so long? Pluto, Neptune, Uranus? Yeah, well now the Sun, and Mars to a degree, is going to be hanging out with them. The Sun is really getting hit by all three generational planets as soon as it ingresses into Libra. So just be mindful of when you feel those urges for power, control, or you find yourself grappling with those concepts between you and another person. I want to close out this forecast by saying that Venus and Jupiter, they're not doing a whole hell of a lot this week, but I especially want to point the finger at Jupiter. Jupiter is doing all the dillying, all the dallying. I feel like we're all still waiting for that big, exalted Jupiter payoff. We got maybe a little bit of it with this past full moon in Pisces because it was Jupiter ruled, but I think a lot of people are still waiting for Jupiter's exalted moment. And at this point, am I tempting fate? Am I poking the proverbial bear? Will Zeus smite me? Well, looks like you'll have to tune in next week to find out. Enjoy your week, read your horoscopes, and go clean something in order to appease the Virgo new moon. Thank you for tuning into this week's forecast. If you want a more detailed look at what this week's astro weather holds for you personally, go to my website, moonmattersastrology.com, and sign up to receive my zine. You can also find me on Patreon by searching for Moon Matters. The best way to keep up to date with my work or to book a reading with me is to sign up for my mailing list on my website. I'll meet you back here next week, but until next time, later days.